What's good, everybody? It's your boy Isaiah Fitzer, the one-hand animal. As you can see, I got the Curry 8s for you guys today. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Came up here to Hayward to pull up to get this work in, work on this jumper, get ready for Arizona. Shout out my boy Ben. Shout out Tabo Squad. Shout out B-Dot.
Sir.
Let's get it, baby. Woo! I was born in Seattle, Washington, and I moved to San Francisco when I was a baby. Me and my mom, we moved from Seattle just to get away from the rough things that she was going through in her life. My mom used drugs when I was a kid, and to try to better her life, she wanted to move to San Francisco, where she was from, and get a restart. And so I was raised in San Francisco in the Fillmore projects, and throughout San Francisco I've lived in the Tenderloin, Fillmore, the Avenues, Marina District. You know, I lived all throughout San Francisco. Me and my mom, we struggled at first when we first got to San Francisco. If it wasn't for, you know, a couple of people in my corner, shout out to my cousin Mo, shout out to my auntie Lauren. If it wasn't for them, when we first got to the city, it would have been a lot rougher. We were bouncing from hotels to hotels, studio to studio. But you know what I'm saying, growing up in the streets of San Francisco, it teaches you a lot. It teaches you how to be a man real fast. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So how was it growing up there?
It was cool. I mean, there's a lot of competition as far as basketball. You know, a lot of people think San Francisco is this high-end, expensive place, but you know, there was a lot of kids like me, a lot of men like myself that come from the projects and come from, you know what I'm saying, nothing, and really is trying to make it out. And if we're not trying to make it out, we're trying to make the best of our situation. And I mean, San Francisco is a hell of a place. I love it to death. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trade my youth for anybody else's youth.
And then what happened to your mom?
My mom passed away when I was 16. She overdosed and they couldn't bring her back from recovery. And while she was in the hospital, they found cancer in her lungs, and they couldn't bring her back. I found out I was going to basketball practice my sophomore year in high school, and I was on my way to basketball practice, and the teacher, one of the after-school program teachers, had called me to the office and said that, you know, my mom was in the hospital and it was an emergency and they wanted me to come quick. And as soon as I got that call, my heart dropped. And because to go back that morning, before I even left the house, my mom, she was asleep on the bed, and she looked like, you know, when you hung over and you've had one too many, you're trying to battle back the next morning. She looked like that. So I looked at her, and I'm used to my mom, you know, either being on some kind of drugs and trying to help her or something get better. So I looked at her and I asked her, hey mom, you need some orange juice or something before I leave and go to school? And she said, nah son, I love you, have a good day. So I, you know what I'm saying, I went and gave her a kiss on the head, and I told her I love her, and I left the house. And then I got that call, and when I got that call, I rushed to the hospital as quick as possible. I hopped on, I had a bike at the time that I would ride all the time in the city back in 08, 09. If you know, you know. We was on our bikes, and I rode my bike all the way to not 08, 09, more like 06, 07. I rode my bike all the way down Fulton, from George Washington High School all the way down Fulton to St. Mary's Hospital on Stanion. And when I got there, my mom, she was barely even responsive. She was moving her fingers a little bit. They had the priest in the room. They had half of my family already there, which pissed me off even more, because I'm like, why am I the last person to find out about my mom, and then y'all really have been there you know what I'm saying, prior to this. So why are you here now? But long story short, she passed away when I was 16. It was one of the roughest things I went through in my life, but it also turned me into a man faster than anything else could have.
And then what happened to your hand condition?
So I guess as far as my hand, when I was in my mom's stomach, a couple of stories my mom told me. It could have been from her using drugs when she was pregnant with me. It also could have been from the man or the boyfriend that she was with at the time, or my dad. I don't know who, but somebody putting his hands on her, pushing her down some stairs, and me moving a certain way inside of her and being deformed somehow. But the doctor said it was most likely because of her doing drugs while she was pregnant with me, and her body just couldn't take it, and for some reason I wasn't able to grow fingers on my left hand. So when I was born, the doctor saw this, and what they did is they took the bones out of my left foretoes, my small toes, and put them in my four fingers, and without my index finger. So my four fingers have bones, and then one of them doesn't, and it's because they have my four toes bones in there, and then my big toe is still the same on my left foot, but my toes on my left foot are very small and they don't have bones in them. So my support on my left foot isn't that great, but I make it do what it do. And it's called amniotic band syndrome. And when you're born with a deformed smaller hand, or not all the way developed hand, amniotic band syndrome.
And then what high school did you go to? And then from there on, just where did basketball take you from there?
So I went to George Washington High School in San Francisco, California. I played JVs my freshman year, and I moved up at the end of my freshman year and played varsity my sophomore, junior, and senior year. From the tragic incident happening of my mom passing, that really motivated me to push myself in basketball to the fullest in high school. And I wasn't that good of a student because once my mom died, my head just went left as far as school, but it stayed on track as far as basketball. So I didn't get too many Division I offers out of high school. I got some Division II offers and Division III offers in the East Coast. With that happening to my mom, I decided to stay close to home, fresh out of high school, and go to a junior college in San Jose, California. I went to West Valley College. I played there for 2 years and ended up taking a full ride scholarship to Notre Dame de Namur. And after I was at Notre Dame de Namur for about 2 semesters, things weren't going my way. Wasn't really feeling the program. I dipped out and decided to go play professional basketball. And from there, I've just been, working on my game, playing at high levels anywhere I possibly can. I played 3 years in Mexico. My first year, I was the scoring champion. I averaged like 38 points a game. My last game of the season, I hit for 69 points in one game. The team that I did that on sent their American home and signed me on their team for the playoffs my rookie year. My second year, I played on another top team in the league in Mexico. And from there, I broke my foot the year after that. And then, I broke my foot after that. And as soon as I broke my foot, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, which is a blood disorder. And basically my whole immune system shut down. I had to get a bone marrow transplant, and I wasn't able to walk. I wasn't able to run, exercise, go outside. I was in a bubble. If you guys have ever seen the movie Bubble Boy, I think it's called, or something like that, but the guy is basically in a bubble and he can't touch anything, he can't be around anybody because his immune system is so weak, he's prone to infections. And that's basically what was going on with my body for about 1.5 years. Even after I got my transplant, I was lucky enough to be able to get a transplant within the first 3 months of me being diagnosed with aplastic anemia. So these past couple of years have been very hard for me, but also have been a learning what's that word?
Experience.
Learning experience for me. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to climb back onto the top, trying to get back to the top with this basketball stuff. Before I got sick, you know, I had a lot of offers to play in the G League. You know what I mean? And it's like, even though I got sick and, you know, my immune system was shut down and I was being told I was never going to be able to play basketball again, I'm still doing what I can do to get back to that level. I'm not letting that stop me, and I never will. I'm going to use it as fuel, and I'm going to keep striving to be great, even though, you know what I'm saying, I have amniotic band syndrome, I have aplastic anemia, I broke my foot, you know what I'm saying? All of these are just speed bumps to greatness, and that's where I'm at right now.
Going back to Mexico, like what teams did you play for, and where was it?
In Mexico, I played my rookie year. I played for the La Junta Guerrero, Cabagantes de La Junta Guerrero, and that was about 7 hours into Chihuahua. And my second year, I played for a team called Cuauhtemoc Manzaneros, which is about the same area. It's in the same league as the other team, La Junta Guerrero. And then my third year, my last year, I played for Hidalgo Parral Mineros in Hidalgo Parral in the same league, and I averaged about 30 for that team before I broke my foot and had to come home. And yeah, those are the teams that I played. My rookie year, I made the All-Star team. Played on the West Side team for the All-Star team. There's film on YouTube. Shoot. Shout out Ben. It's the late night shots that get you to the next level. It's the late night grinds that get you to the next level. It's guys like this that get you to the next level. This guy's been motivating me since day one. Make sure you follow his link in the description. Huge motivator, huge coach, huge trainer, huge b-baller, all of that. Say something about me, man. What you think? Like, you know what I'm saying? Give your words of advice to the haters out there, the people out there that don't think I can get to the top.
Oh man, hey, you just seen the work, man. You just seen the work. You see what he did here. You see the shoes, first and foremost, of course, obviously, you know what I'm saying? That helped a little, but hey, it didn't do the work. This guy's the one doing the work. So, hey, shout out to this guy and all the hard work he's put in so far in these past couple months, playing against all these crazy ass hoopers, D. Frigga, Chris Staples.
Facts.
You know, all these guys, man.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to all the guys out there that this guy's been competing against and help putting them on and keep motivating this guy, man, because he got some big things coming. Stay tuned to his channel. Stay tuned to everything he's doing. Keep watching him. Like you said, all the haters, they don't even matter, man. They just make us greater, all right? So we'll keep it moving. Boy.
Much more between us.
Yep.
Much more to come.
Shout out Dime. Let's go. Dime Basketball, doing big things for the kids, man. Love it.
Shout out the cameraman behind the lens, B-Dot. And we'll see you next time. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, baby. Woo!